I want to talk to you about something you've been avoiding. Not because I want to shame you, but because I love you too much to stay silent. You've heard my parables, you've seen my mercy, you've cried at my cross. But today, I am not just your savior, I am your shepherd. And a shepherd doesn't stay quiet when the wolves circle. So listen closely. This isn't a lecture. This is a rescue. Sexual sin is not just weakness. It's not just part of being human. It's not just temptation. It is war, and it is one of the most spiritually corrosive acts a soul can enter into. Not because the body is bad. I made your body. I knit it together in the womb. I designed its beauty, its pleasure, its ache for union. But like fire outside the hearth, what was meant to warm you can consume you. That's why I said in Matthew 5:28, anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Some of you skipped that verse. Others read it and thought I was exaggerating. But I don't exaggerate. I reveal. And I was telling you this. Sexual sin doesn't start with the act. It starts with surrender. The moment you begin to treat someone else's body as your escape, your worship shifts. You begin to serve desire instead of me. You begin to sacrifice your integrity for sensation, and before long, the altar in your heart has changed. You think it's just a website, just a night, just a mistake. But what you're doing is more than physical. You are creating soul ties, chains that link you to moments never meant to hold you. I'm not angry at you. I'm pleading with you. Because I see what you can't. I see how the enemy weaves shame into your thoughts, making you believe that because you sinned sexually, you are unclean. I see how you hide, not just from others, but from me, just like Adam did in the garden. I came walking in the cool of the day and asked, "Where are you?" Not because I didn't know, but because shame had made him forget that I was still near. And I'm asking you that question now. Where are you? Are you hiding behind a perfect Sunday outfit while your heart is crushed by lust? Are you smiling in public while fighting a private addiction to images, to memories, to patterns that leave you empty after every high? I see it, and I'm not turning away. But I won't lie to you either. Sexual sin doesn't just hurt your purity, it wounds your purpose. It's not just about morality, it's about identity. You were never made to carry this kind of fragmentation. I didn't give you a body so you could carve your soul into pieces and leave it scattered across beds, phones, and fantasies. I gave you a body because it was meant to be a temple. That's what Paul reminded the church in 1 Corinthians 6:18-20. Flee from sexual immorality. Do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit? Not a playground, not a marketplace, a temple. But when you invite lust into that temple, something begins to erode. Not instantly, but steadily, until prayer feels numb, until worship feels dry, until conviction feels like condemnation. That's how sexual sin works. Not as a storm, but as a leak. And some of you have been sinking for years, but I'm not here to condemn you. I'm here to rescue you. I'm still the God who knelt beside the adulterous woman, the same crowd that wanted her stoned. They had their own secrets, but I didn't speak to them. I spoke to her. I looked into her tear-filled eyes and said, "Neither do I condemn you. Go now and leave your life of sin." John 8:11. Do you hear that? Not silence, not tolerance, not hatred. Truth, mercy, a way forward, and I am speaking it to you now. I know the weight you carry. I know the battle in your flesh, but I also know the freedom waiting on the other side of repentance. Not performance, repentance. That turning of the heart where you say, "Lord, I want you more than this." And when you mean that, chains break, walls fall. The lie that says, "I'll never change," begins to shatter. Because I didn't just die for your sin, I died to break sin's grip on you. Sexual bondage is not your inheritance. Freedom is. And if you're ready to walk in it, I will not just forgive you. I will cleanse you. I will rebuild the altar of worship inside your body until it becomes holy again. That's what I came to do. And that's what I'm ready to begin. Right now, if you'll let me. You don't see what it's doing to you yet, but I do. That's why I'm still talking, not with condemnation, but with urgency, because I'm not watching your sin from afar like a judge waiting to pass sentence. I'm inside the fire with you, holding the weight of every compromise you've made and every whisper you've believed. And I need you to understand what you're truly up against. Sexual sin is not just rebellion, it's spiritual exchange. Every time you offer your body to something I did not bless, you are giving away something sacred and taking into yourself something deadly, not because you are worthless, but because you are holy. Do you remember what I said in Matthew 19? The two shall become one flesh. I wasn't giving a poetic metaphor. I was revealing a law. When two bodies unite, their souls knit. And when that bond happens outside of covenant, it fractures instead of seals. It confuses love with lust, safety with slavery. You were never meant to give away pieces of your heart like spare change to anyone who made your flesh feel seen. You were made for something deeper, something whole. But now you wake up wondering why you feel fragmented. You can't even explain it. You think it's anxiety. You think it's depression. But underneath the mental storm is a spiritual reality. Your soul has been diluted. Every time you pour yourself into someone who isn't yours, who I didn't give to you, you wake up emptier. And the worst part? The shame doesn't start with the act. It starts with the silence that follows it. That's where the enemy builds his strongholds, not in the moment of sin, but in the aftermath, when your head is on the pillow and your chest is hollow and your prayers feel too weak to climb through the ceiling. That's when he whispers, God won't listen now. You've gone too far. Just stay quiet. Stay hidden. And if you believe that, he wins. Not because I stopped loving you, but because you stopped coming to me. And that's the real damage of sexual sin. It convinces you that I'm disgusted by you. But listen to me. I never turned my eyes from you. Not in the motel. Not in the browser window. Not in the memory you keep trying to erase. I saw it all, and I stayed. But my staying presence is not permission. It's pursuit. It's me refusing to leave even when you think you've disqualified yourself. Because I didn't die to make you behave. I died to make you mine. I died to give you power. Real, transforming, demon-shattering power. And if you knew who you were, you wouldn't let lust lead you anymore. You'd fight. You'd rise. You'd get on your knees and scream if you had to. This doesn't own me, because it doesn't. Not if you're in me. Romans 6:14 says sin shall no longer be your master, because you are not under law, but under grace. That's not passive grace. That's warfaring grace. That's grace that gets dirt under its fingernails as it pulls you out of cycles you thought you'd die in. You think this is about pleasure? Number. This is about war. And the reason the enemy keeps drawing you back to sexual compromise is because he knows what's on the other side of your purity. He's not just after your morality. He's after your mantle, your calling, your clarity, your communion with me. He knows that the moment you get clean, truly clean, not perfect, but surrendered, you'll become dangerous. You'll speak with authority again. You'll start laying hands with power. You'll walk into rooms and atmospheres will shift. So he tempts you not because you're weak, but because you're chosen. That's why the battle feels endless, because your purity isn't just a private issue, it's a threat. It's a sword forged in obedience, and he's terrified of it, terrified of you. So he disguises the trap. He wraps it in loneliness, in desire, in exhaustion, in lies. He tells you it's just release, just chemistry, just curiosity. But it's never just that. It's spiritual sabotage, and you feel it. You felt the heaviness in your chest after, the fog, the numbness, the way your worship dims. You've told yourself, it's just life. But I'm telling you the truth. It's not life. It's death dressed in pleasure. And I came to bring resurrection, not religion, not behavior management. Resurrection. I'm not here to ask you to try harder. I'm here to teach you to die. To your patterns, to your shame, to the voice that says you'll always be this way. I don't want part of you. I want all of you, and I'm patient enough to wait, but I'm also holy enough to convict. So feel this, not as guilt, but as invitation. You don't need to numb yourself anymore. You don't need to hide. I already know, and I still want you. Not the fake version, the real you, the you beneath the lust, the you I bled for, the you I'm ready to restore, if you'll let me take you deeper than you've ever gone. This won't be easy, but it will be worth it, because purity isn't just the absence of sin, it's the presence of peace, and peace is what I died to give you. You keep asking me, why is this so hard to let go of? And I want you to hear my answer clearly, not in the voice of religion, not through the filter of shame, but from my heart to yours. It's hard because it was never just about behavior. It was about belonging. Every sexual sin, every compromise, every pattern you can't seem to break. It's not just a moral issue. It's a craving for connection that was twisted by deception. I designed your soul to long for intimacy. That longing is not the sin. That ache to be seen, to be known, to be held. I built it into you. But when that ache becomes your master, when it starts driving you to places I didn't send you, it stops being holy and starts becoming harmful. That's what happened in Eden. The serpent didn't just sell Adam and Eve a lie. He sold them a shortcut. You can have what God promised without God. And that's still the root of sexual sin today. You want the feeling of being wanted. You want the safety of intimacy. You want the high of being pursued. But you've started to chase it outside of me. You've accepted substitutes, screens, strangers, fantasies, memories, because they're immediate, and I sometimes feel distant. But listen to me. I never stopped being near. The lie is not just that you need this. The lie is that I'm not enough, that I can't satisfy, that I can't meet you in your loneliness, your hunger, your need to be touched. But I can, and I will. I touched the leper when no one else would. I sat beside the woman at the well who had 5 husbands and still wasn't satisfied. I let the prostitute weep at my feet and didn't flinch, not once, because I don't run from brokenness. I run to it, and I'm not afraid of your need. I'm not afraid of your weakness, but I want to teach you how to bring it to me instead of feeding it with poison, because every time you go back to lust, to pornography, to forbidden relationships, you're not just sinning. You're starving. You're trying to feed your soul with something that cannot nourish it. That's why you feel empty afterward. That's why the pleasure fades. It was never enough, and it was never meant to be. You were made for something better, me. And you don't need to clean yourself up first. You just need to bring me what's real. Bring me the mess. Bring me the cravings. Bring me the parts of you you're ashamed of. I already see them. I'm not asking for your perfection. I'm asking for your permission. Let me into the places you've closed off. Let me into the memories you keep locked up. Let me speak truth over the lies that have shaped your view of love and worth. Because that's the root of it all, isn't it? Somewhere deep down, you believed you had to earn love. You believed your value was tied to your body, your performance, your ability to satisfy someone else. And now every time you're alone, that lie echoes like a ghost. You're not enough unless you give more. But I'm here to silence that voice. I never measured you by your past. I never defined you by your mistakes. I never loved you for what you could offer. I loved you first. I loved you when you didn't even know my name. I loved you when your hands were still stained and your heart was still divided. And I still do. But love doesn't just affirm. It transforms. So I won't let you stay in the cycle that's been stealing your joy. I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to free you. You don't belong to shame. You belong to me. And if you'll trust me with your wounds, with your wants, with your story, I'll begin the work of healing from the inside out. Not surface change, soul change. That's what I came to do. And that's what I'm offering you now. A new beginning. Not by your strength, but by mine. Are you willing? Then come closer. I'm still speaking. I know why you keep going back. And it's not just lust. It's pain. Something deeper. Something older. Something no one asked you about. Not the church. Not your friends. Not even your family. But I saw it. I watched it happen. The moment your innocence was first stolen. The time your voice was ignored. The year you felt invisible. That secret memory you buried so deep even you forgot where you put it. I was there. I felt it like it was my own. Because it became mine. I carried it. Every shameful touch. Every abusive word. Every lie that said, "This is your fault." And what started as pain grew into a pattern. You didn't plan to end up addicted. You didn't choose this battle thinking it would last this long, but you were looking for comfort, and the enemy knew it. That's how he works. He doesn't just attack your body. He targets your wounds. He waits for moments of heartbreak and then whispers solutions that look like relief but lead to chains. That's why sexual sin is so hard to uproot, because it often isn't rebellion. It's self-medication. And you've been trying to treat a deep soul wound with something that was never meant to heal it. You wanted closeness, and you reached for a screen. You wanted to feel beautiful, and you gave yourself to someone who didn't even know your heart. You wanted to escape the ache, and you numbed it with temporary pleasure. And now you feel stuck, ashamed, divided. But I need you to know, I never left. Even when you were sinning. Even when you were weeping, even when you didn't call my name, I stayed. And now I'm speaking, because this is not who you are. You were not made to live in the shadows. You were not created to give your body to people who don't know your worth. You are royalty. You are my beloved. And the moment you let me near that wound, that's when healing begins. But you must let me touch it. You must let me into the places you swore you'd never talk about. The places religion told you to hide. The places where the trauma still echoes and the bitterness still burns. I want it all. Not because I need it, but because I can heal it. I am the only one who can. The addiction isn't stronger than me. The lust isn't more powerful than my blood. The abuse you endured isn't the final word over your identity. I have the final word, and I say clean. I say free. I say mine. But this won't happen by accident. You'll have to walk with me into the pain, not around it, not over it, through it, just like I did on the way to the cross. You'll have to let the tears fall. You'll have to stop pretending it didn't hurt. You'll have to get honest about what happened. Not just with me, but maybe with someone safe I send to walk with you. because sin grows in silence, but healing begins with light, and I am the light. That's why I said in John 8:12, whoever follows me will not walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. That's a promise, but you must follow. Even when it's uncomfortable, even when the memories rise, even when everything in you wants to run, stay with me. I'm not going to shame you. I'm going to restore you. I'm going to teach you how to live free, not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. This isn't behavior management. This is heart surgery. And I'm the only one with the hands holy enough to do it, but I will not force you. You must open the door. You must choose truth. And I know that's terrifying, but what you're doing right now, carrying it alone, hiding it in the dark, pretending it's not that bad, that's even more dangerous. I came to give you life, and it starts when you finally say, Jesus, I can't fix this, but I want you to. That's the prayer that changes everything. That's the invitation I've been waiting for. Say it, and watch what I do next. You think you're too far gone, but I already made the journey to bring you home. Every lie you believed, every soul you've tied yourself to, every moment you said never again and still returned. I saw it all and I still chose you. You have no idea how much authority I've placed inside you. That's why the war is this loud. That's why the enemy targets your intimacy, not because you're worthless, but because you're royal. Because if you ever truly understood who you are in me, how pure, how whole, how restored you already are by my blood, you would stop crawling back to chains you've already been set free from. But the problem is, you still feel like they own you, and I understand, because you gave pieces of yourself away. You made promises with your body that your spirit never agreed to. You touched hands that weren't made to hold you. You stared into eyes that spoke pleasure but left your soul starving. You gave and gave, thinking maybe if you gave enough, you'd feel complete. But now the fragments of those moments haunt you. You feel split. But I need you to hear me. You are not your history. You are not the sum of every bed, every name, every secret. You are mine, and I don't redeem partially. I restore completely. I know about the soul ties, the invisible cords you feel pulling you back to someone you swore you were done with, that strange ache that won't let go, even after the number is blocked and the contact deleted. That's not your imagination, that's the wound, that's the place where the enemy forged chains with counterfeit intimacy. But I can sever it, not by magic, by authority. The same authority I used to drive demons out, the same authority I used to call Lazarus from the tomb. And I want to use that authority on you, because you're not just struggling, you're entangled, and entanglement needs deliverance. That's why I said in Isaiah 61 that I came to proclaim freedom for the captives and release from darkness for the prisoners. That includes you. So here's what we're going to do. Right now, yes, even while you're reading this, I want you to pause and ask me out loud, Jesus, if there's anything in me that's tied to what you didn't give me, show me. And I will. I'll bring names to your mind, moments, patterns, and I won't do it to shame you. I'll do it to cut the cords. Because what I reveal, I heal. But you must let me show you. Don't hide. Don't flinch. Just stay open. I'm not afraid of what we'll find. I've already paid for it. And after I show you, I want you to renounce it. Speak it out. I break agreement with this name, with this memory, with this lie. Say it as many times as it takes. You don't have to scream, but you do have to speak. Because silence is agreement, and you've been silent for too long. You've carried these attachments in your body, in your sleep, in your self-image, but it ends now. Not by your power. By mine I'll do it. I'll burn the roots. I'll drain the poison. I'll fill every cracked place with my spirit. But you must release it. You must give me what you've been clinging to in secret. Even if it hurts. Even if you don't know who you are without it. I do. I've always known. And what I have for you on the other side of this release, it's not just freedom. It's intimacy. Real intimacy. With me. The kind that doesn't leave you numb after. The kind that doesn't make you feel used. The kind that wraps you in holiness and calls you beloved and never lets go. That's what you were made for. That's why the enemy fought so hard to keep you in chains, because he knew that if you ever got this close to me again, he'd lose you forever. And I intend to make sure he does. Stay with me. The healing isn't done yet, but you're already closer than you've ever been. I know your hands are trembling, your chest is tight, your thoughts spinning. That's what happens when chains begin to break. The enemy will tell you it's fear. I tell you it's deliverance. This shaking isn't you falling apart. It's you being rebuilt, piece by piece, tear by tear, breath by breath. But there's more I need to do, because after I break what held you, I have to teach you how to walk again. How to live without the crutch of lust, how to breathe without the fog of shame, how to feel desire and not be afraid of it. Yes, I said desire, because desire itself is not the sin. I made it. I designed your body to long, your heart to ache, your soul to crave union. But sin corrupted it, twisted it, lied to you until you believed that your only options were indulgence or suppression. But I'm here to tell you the truth. There's another way, a holy way, and I want to teach you what it means to want and not be enslaved, to feel attraction and not be devoured by it, to hunger and choose me. That's why I've been after your heart this whole time, not just your behavior. Because purity was never meant to be about rules. It was always about relationship. You don't stay pure because you're afraid of punishment. You stay pure because you love me. Because you don't want to trade my presence for 5 minutes of numb relief. Because once you've tasted my peace, you stop being satisfied with poison. But that takes retraining. That takes daily choice. That takes intimacy. And I know intimacy is a scary word for you, because for so long you've only known it through broken mirrors, tainted touches, fake romance, promises that dissolved into silence. But I'm not like them. I don't take and leave. I don't touch to satisfy myself. I touch to heal. I pursue not because I want to use you, but because I already chose you, and I don't stop choosing you, even when you run. Even when you fall. My covenant doesn't break when you break, but I want to teach you how to stay, to rest, to abide. That's the word I gave you in John 15. Abide in me, and I in you. That's not poetry. That's a command. Because if you don't abide in me, you'll abide in something else. And that something else will always demand your body, your mind, your worship. Lust is a cruel master. It promises ecstasy and gives you emptiness. But I offer something real, communion, not just in a church service, in your room, on your floor, in the silence, when no one's watching. I will meet you there, and I'll teach you what it feels like to be wanted without being used, to be touched without fear, to be known without performance. That's what you were made for. And when you learn to receive love like that, you'll stop chasing counterfeits, because real love satisfies. Real love sanctifies. Real love sees everything, the past, the urges, the shame, and says, I still want all of you. That's what I say to you right now. I want all of you. not just the parts you show in worship, not just the voice you lift in prayer. I want your desires, your temptations, your memories, your triggers, your body, your longing, your entire being. Because when I have all of you, then I can fill all of you. And when you are full of me, lust has nowhere to live. So let me fill you, not once, every day. Come to me in the morning, even before your thoughts start racing. Come to me at night, when the silence feels loudest. Come to me in the moments you used to run to sin. That's how healing becomes lifestyle. It's not just about casting demons out. It's about learning to live without needing them anymore. And you can. With me, you can. You're already walking. You've already left the grave behind. Now let's build something holy in its place. A life, a rhythm, a love that never leaves you empty. This is what I've longed to give you. And now, we're finally ready to begin. Now that we've torn down what was false, let's build what is true. Because freedom isn't just about what you say no to, it's about what you protect. I gave you a heart, but I also gave you a gate. Proverbs 4:23 says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. That means this healing we're walking through together isn't just about what's happening inside of you. It's about what you allow around you. Who has access to your mind? Who's speaking into your loneliness? Who's feeding your habits? Even if it's just through a screen or a song or a story, I want you to be honest with me. You've let things in that you thought were harmless. A show that stirred desire. A friend who didn't respect your boundaries. A just-in-case number saved in your phone. These may seem small, but small doors invite in large destruction. That's why I'm calling you to close them. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Because what you tolerate now can destroy you later. You don't have to wait for a relapse to start repenting. You can choose wisdom before crisis, and wisdom says, protect the oil, protect the flame I've lit inside of you. Don't let old patterns flirt with new beginnings. You've been rescued. Don't walk back into cages wearing the key around your neck. This is war, and you need to live like it. You need to start praying like you believe demons are watching, because they are. You need to start deleting what weakens you, not out of legalism, but because you're too powerful to waste time. You need to start walking like someone who knows that purity isn't boring. It's a weapon. Every time you say no to temptation, hell loses ground. Every time you turn off the screen, angels are dispatched. Every time you choose worship instead of escape, your authority grows. But it's not just about action, it's about intimacy. So don't just run from sin, run to me. Make a pattern out of my presence. Build your days around prayer, not panic. Memorize scripture like your life depends on it, because your peace does. Put the word in your mouth, in your room, in your phone, in your schedule. And when temptation comes, not if, but when, use it, speak it, declare it. That's what I did in the wilderness when Satan tempted me. I didn't debate him. I quoted my Father, and you can do the same. That's how sons and daughters live, not as victims, but as warriors. You have that same spirit in you now, the spirit that raised me from the dead, the spirit that crushed the power of lust at the cross, the spirit that doesn't tremble when darkness comes. It burns brighter. But to walk in that, you need discipline, not out of duty, out of desire, because you finally see the value of your purity. You see what it cost me. You see what it restores in you, and you refuse to let it slip through your fingers again. So you get up early, you fast, you worship when no one's looking, you silence voices that mock holiness, you cut ties that flirt with compromise, not because you're afraid, but because you're ready. You're done being ruled by feelings. You're done blaming your past. You're done pretending this is who you'll always be. Number your mind now, and mine means holy, set apart, covered in grace and filled with fire. You don't beg for scraps anymore. You feast on truth. You don't chase validation. You carry my favor. You don't blend in. You shift atmospheres. That's what holiness looks like. Not stiff, not perfect, just surrendered, fierce, and full of me. That's where we're going next. And I'm not letting go of you until you see it with your own eyes. You thought your story was too stained to be used, but I've always planned to use it, not in spite of your wounds, but through them. Because I don't just redeem the sinner, I commission the healed. And that's what I'm doing with you. I'm taking everything the enemy meant for your destruction, and I'm turning it into a weapon of deliverance. Every tear, every relapse, every desperate night on the floor, I'm not erasing them. I'm resurrecting them. I'm placing holy fire inside the very place where shame once lived. Why? Because when I heal you, I don't just restore you to who you were before the fall. I raise you into someone the world has never seen before. Stronger, deeper, more dangerous to hell. You've walked through the shadows of lust and come out carrying light. You've sat in the silence of regret, and now your voice will shake chains off others. That's what I do with surrendered vessels. I anoint them. I give them back their stories, not as sources of pain, but as rivers of living water for the broken. And I'm giving that to you now. Yes, you, the one who thought no one would ever believe in them again. The one who doubted whether they could ever live free for more than a week. I'm raising you up, not to perform, not to impress, but to be a living testimony of what my grace can do. The same way I used the woman caught in adultery, not just to forgive, but to show the world what mercy looks like in skin. The same way I met the Samaritan woman, not just to correct her, but to unleash her as a voice in her city. That's what I want to do with you. I'm not waiting for you to be spotless. I already washed you. I'm not waiting for you to be eloquent. I just need your yes. And when you give me your yes, every part, not just the polished ones, I'll use your mouth to speak life into others who think they're too far gone. You'll look them in the eyes and say, I've been where you are. I know that ache. I know that lie. But I met him, and he didn't flinch when he saw me. That's power. That's authority. That's why your story still matters. That's why the battle was so intense. Because Satan wasn't just trying to ruin your life. He was trying to silence your assignment. But he failed, because here you are, reading these words, weeping and wondering if I'm really this close. I am, and I've been waiting for this moment, waiting for you to realize that I don't just rescue, I recruit. I take ex-porn addicts and make them prophets. I take those who sold their bodies and make them carriers of holiness. I take those who were used and make them vessels of honor. That's what I've always done, and I'm doing it again, through you. So don't hide anymore. Don't sanitize your story. Don't wait for a stage. Just live the truth out loud. Let your freedom speak through your habits, your holiness, your hunger. And when people ask what changed, tell them about me. Tell them I came into the middle of your sin and sat down. Tell them I didn't rush your healing. Tell them I waited as long as it took. Tell them I never called you disgusting. I called you daughter. I called you son. And I never took it back. That's your message now. That's your mantle. And hell can't stop it. Now that you know who you are, you must learn how to stand. Because freedom isn't fragile, but it must be guarded. You don't walk out of sin just to stroll back into danger. You are now a threat to hell, and you must live like it. That means this new purity isn't just emotional, it's warfare. And I want you armed, not in fear, but in power. Ephesians 6 gives you everything you need: the belt of truth, the breastplate of righteousness, the gospel of peace on your feet, the shield of faith, the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit. which is my word. That's not metaphor. That's armor, and you'll need it. Because temptation doesn't vanish when you're healed. Sometimes it intensifies, because now you're glowing. Now you're dangerous. Now you carry the authority to set others free, and that puts a target on your back. But do not be afraid. I already crushed the head of the serpent. I already gave you victory. What I'm teaching you now is how to walk in it, how to spot the bait before it lures you, how to silence voices before they distort you, how to pray not just for escape, but for conquest. So when the old urge comes back, when your body aches and your thoughts flare and your dreams turn dark, don't panic, don't run, stand, speak, rebuke, worship, take ground. Use the word like a blade. Quote Psalm 119 verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Declare 2 Corinthians 10:5. I take every thought captive to make it obedient to Christ. Don't just resist the devil, chase him out. Your room is holy ground now. Your phone is under authority now. Your heart belongs to me now. And everything that tries to pull you back into the pit has to answer to my name. So speak it. My name is Jesus. And when you say it in faith, every unclean spirit trembles. Every dark presence shatters. Every lie loses its grip. You're not helpless anymore. You're not a victim of lust. You're not someone who always struggles. You are a son, a daughter, a temple, a weapon, a priest. You are sealed by my spirit and backed by heaven. So stop tiptoeing through your days like sin might sneak up on you again. Start walking like a warrior who knows the terrain. Stay alert. Fast often. Anoint your doorposts with oil. Burn the bridges that led you to sin. Remove what tempts your senses. Install boundaries so tight that only holiness fits. This is not about paranoia. It's about honor. Because your purity is no longer just about you. It's a light for others. It's the first page in someone else's redemption story. And when they see you, walking in clarity, speaking with joy, choosing righteousness without shame, they'll ask how, and you'll tell them. You'll say, I met Jesus, and he didn't shame me, he fought for me, and now I fight like he taught me. That's legacy. That's what you're building now. Not just a clean track record, a legacy of authority. Generations will thank you for what you broke today. Chains your children will never wear. Lies your friends will never believe. Curses your family line will never touch again. Because you chose to stand. You chose me. And now I choose to fill you with everything you'll need to finish strong. The Spirit isn't just your comfort. He is your fire. Let him burn. Let him lead. Let him roar when you feel weak. You don't walk this path alone. I'm with you. I'm in you. And I'm never leaving. Now breathe. Feel that? That's the stillness the enemy tried to steal. That's the peace I died to give you. That's the weight of shame lifting. The silence filling with my voice. The ache inside your chest loosening its grip. That's what happens when truth invades the lies. That's what happens when you let me all the way in. And now that you've come this far, don't turn back. Don't look over your shoulder like Lot's wife did, still craving the fire she escaped. Don't flirt with what once chained you. Don't pet the serpent you just drove out. This is where the story changes. You didn't come here by accident. I led you. Every moment of resistance, every time your soul cried out for more, every night you couldn't sleep because conviction kept stirring. That was me, whispering, waiting, loving you too much to let you die in the pit. And I want you to know something. I never once regretted choosing you. I knew everything you would do, every sight, every secret, every slip up, and I still climbed that cross with your name burning in my heart. I didn't hesitate because I saw this day coming, the day you would finally believe me. Not just believe in me, believe me. Believe that when I said it is finished, I meant your shame, your torment, your cycles, your addiction. Finished. And now I speak something new over you. Not struggling, not damaged, not unclean. I call you radiant. I call you pure. I call you commissioned. Because now your life is no longer a survival story. It's ascending. I am sending you into a world drowning in lust with the fragrance of holiness. I'm sending you to be a fire in rooms that once burned you. I'm sending you to show what love looks like. Love that doesn't demand your body. Love that doesn't manipulate your silence. Love that never walks out. You are not a project anymore. You are a vessel. You are a warrior. You are my dwelling place. And wherever you go, purity goes. Not perfection, purity. The posture of one who chooses me over and over again, no matter how loud the temptation or how tired the soul. That's who you are now. And even when you feel weak, I won't let you fall. Jude 1:24 says, I am able to keep you from stumbling and present you before the Father, blameless and full of joy. That's not a dream. That's your future. And if ever you find yourself trembling again, unsure if you can stay free, come back here. Let me remind you who you are. Let me wash your feet again. Let me pull you back into the rhythm of grace. I never grow tired of forgiving. I never get weary of loving you. I never run out of mercy. You are safe with me, and nothing, no memory, no mistake, no temptation will ever take you out of my hands. You are sealed. You are set apart. You are mine. And I will finish what I started in you until the day I return or the day you come home. Walk with me. Talk to me. Let me be your joy, your guard, your peace. Let me be the one you run to when no one else understands, because I do. I always did, and I'm not going anywhere. The war over your body has already been won. Now rise, take your place, and never, ever forget, I love you. I chose you, and I'm coming back for you soon.